And without further ado, please welcome to the stage Janice Hanson.
Hi there. I'm Janice Hanson, Chair of the Concert Series for Golden Lake Folk Singing Society. And welcome to tonight's concert. We're really excited to have Christine Lavin here. Golden Lake was founded in 1971, which means this year is the 50th anniversary. And it's not the year that we were expecting to have for our 50th anniversary, but we're still very excited to be able to continue doing concerts. And we have our weekly Tuesday night sing-around. You can find that on the Golden Link website at goldenlink.org. Every Tuesday we gather on Zoom and each person can sing a song. It's a great way to connect every week and keep the music going. And we invite you to join us on a Tuesday night sometime. And she's going to be joined by some other musicians. There's a party afterwards, so stick around with that. We have David Ippolito and Goldman joining for the after party. And let's get things going. Please welcome Christine Lavin.
Working on. And the way I got to write this song, I record in a studio on West 20th Street, on West 20th and 7th Avenue, on that corner. And when I used to go to my recording sessions, I would come from 34th Street when I lived up there, and I would walk back to 34th Street. But now I live on the Lower East Side, so I have to go down 20th Street to get the F train. And that's when I couldn't believe it. I had no idea I was recording on the same street as Kleinfeld's bridal store. Say yes to the dress! I've been recording on that same street for years and didn't even know it. And I now use a place called Mike's Tech Shop, which is right next to Kleinfeld's. And there's another store. And I had this idea, like, what if? Life happens fast on West 20th Street, where romance and technology meet, where happenstance and destiny pas-de-deux seductively. I have been known to be verbose, but lean in now and listen close. I'll spin a yarn of love so splendid, you may never want to see it ended. My computer gets tuned up at Mike's Tech Shop on West 20th Street. Mike's got a gang of computer geniuses keeping my machine running sweet. Just to the east of Mike's Tech Shop is a legendary store, Kleinfeld's, where brides from everywhere come to buy wedding gowns, veils, and bling galore. One day, a young, giddy, nervous bride, all the way from Montana, come to shop at Kleinfeld's, brought her along her mama and her nana, who both happen to be widows, but both still look pretty good. But they don't know the city or this particular neighborhood, and by accident they all, instead of walking into Kleinfeld's, all three of them walk into Mike's. Snapping selfies, posting, hoping folks in Missoula will give them a whole lot of likes. They think they are in Kleinfeld's. Nope, they're in a computer shop. The bride to be so overcome with excitement that to the floor she drops. Yes, the bride to be is so filled with glee, she just flat out faints. She's surrounded by a herd of adorable nerds. She opens her eyes, she thinks they're saints. One lifts her head up to give her a sip of cool, clear water. Her mama sees this act of kindness, leans down and whispers to her daughter, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I think this young man just changed your life. You know I've never liked your fiancé, so why not be the sweet boy's wife? So the bride-to-be calls her fiancé. She tells him, I've had a change of heart. I'm falling in love with the tech shop boy. You and me are busting apart. Oh, the bride-to-be's ex-fiancé is a pro football place kicker. He drops the phone and rushes to Mike's Tech Shop. No, he takes a cab, that's quicker. He's gonna beat that computer geek for stealing his future bride. But by accident he runs into the naughty lingerie boutique. On the tech shops west side of the naughty lingerie boutique is having a sale of everything made out of lace. The football kicker says, "Where's that nerd? I'm gonna whoop him." The owner says, "I'm the only one in the place." The kicker gives her the kind of look you could pour on a stack of pancakes. He forgot about the nerd, now love is the word, as he a new plan makes. But the lady who owns a naughty lingerie store is engaged to a firefighter who says he won't marry her until the day she's at least 100 pounds lighter. But the football kicker likes a curvy woman. He tells her, "Forget him, I love you." So she whips him up a stack of pancakes, 'cause that's what people in love do. Life happens fast on West 20th Street. The bride from Montana, she gonna marry a geek. The football kicker is falling for the lady who owns a naughty lingerie store, whose firefighting fiance has no idea what happened here today. Suddenly, Kleinfeld catches on fire. Sirens scream through the air. Fire truck pulls up. What luck, the naughty lingerie lady's firefighting ex is there. He sees her kissing that football kicker. He's crushed, but he's got a job to do. He rushes into Kleinfeld's, puts out the flames of this potential bridal barbecue. He rescues a single skinny bride-to-be, floating in a pool of tears. Her fiancé just called to call off the wedding. His timing was cruel and weird. She was trying on a Haley Page gown that cost $8,000 when the heartbreaking phone call came in. I know, that sucks, but the fireman scoops her up and carries her out in her size 2 wedding gown. Tearfully she thanks him, as light as a feather. He gently sets her down. Then he gets down on one knee. I don't even have to tell you. He pops the question to the crybaby bride. She says, "Hell yeah!" Oh, but what about the meanie who broke up on the phone with her as she shopped Kleinfeld Salon? He was arrested for insider trading, Berkshire Hathaway, GameStop, Amazon. He's prison pen pals with a crazy chick who now says she will wait. And as soon as his parole board says it's cool, she will set a wedding date. Oh, one last thing. What about the widowed mama and the widowed nana? Last seen lost on West 20th Street, which is nothing like Montana. They flagged down 2 horseback cops who happen to be galloping into the east. The cops take them to Eisenberg's sandwich shop, treat them both to a fabulous feast. Oh, they gobble down pancakes topped with bacon-eaten matzo balls and drink egg creams. The mama and the nana both feel like they have stepped into a dream. The next day, Kleinfeld is back in business. You can figure out the rest. Yep, mama and the nana and the horseback cops are all saying yes to the dress. Life happens fast on West 20th Street. The bride from Montana, she's gonna marry a geek. Her football kicker is falling for the lady who owns a naughty lingerie store, whose firefighting fiancé fell in love with a crybaby bride just yesterday. Mama, Nana, and the horseback cops are so glad they accidentally walked in a nice tech shop. Not to mention the inside trader and his gal, who are counting the days till they are more than pen pals.
That was great, Christine.
Okay, that was pretty wild.
David and I actually met backstage at a benefit for Hurricane Katrina. And we
That's
both
right.
had heard about each other for a long time. And he is not just the guitar man of Central Park. That's basically what sort of sustained him financially over the years. But he is an actor. He is a playwright. He's a serious playwright. He's got so many irons in the fire. He's such an incredibly talented man. And I'm just so thrilled that, under these circumstances, it's a pandemic and all that, but gives you an opportunity for those of you who don't get to come to New York and happen to be in New York on a Saturday on a beautiful sunny day, where you can sit on the hill and listen to David Ippolito for hours. He plays for like 6 hours straight. He doesn't take a break. He's a total trooper. Please give a warm, warm Golden Link welcome to David Ippolito.
Christine, thank you so much. I am the luckiest man alive. This is what I do, what I've done for 28 years. There wasn't a job application for that guitar man from Central Park. I just went out there one day in 1992 with a guitar to make a little extra lunch money. One of the people that was sitting on the hill that day happened to be a guy named Jack Rosenthal, who wrote for the New York Times. The next day there was this article about this spontaneous concert in Central Park, and since that day, my life is like a damn movie. But truthfully, I think I might be one of the worst actors on the East Coast, so I'm making the transition now from a career as a singer-songwriter to a career as a playwright at precisely the perfect time when there is no Broadway. So it's not funny, but did you see this particular strange person after the January 6th insurrection?
I got maced.
You got me.
By the police.
The woman with the towel
And what
the
happened? You
piano
were trying to
scarf.
go inside the
Yeah,
Capitol?
I made it like a foot inside, and they pushed me out, and they maced me.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Elizabeth. I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
I had to write a song about this nitwit. Come gather round and listen to my story. Every word is true. It's not just oratory. You see, on January 6th, angry MAGA lunatics just raised the bar of idiotic glory. At a rally not uncommon or unique, when they went to hear their orange hero speak, he told them silly lies and incited them to rise, his little army of the ignorant and weak. But among the classless masses there that day, who stormed the Capitol because they didn't get their way, was this little MAGA member, who I always will remember, because I can't forget the words she had to say. They pushed me out and maced me. I thought they would embrace me. I'm the party chair of my sorority. But social media is making fun of me, 'cause I told that man from MSNBC, I'm Elizabeth from Knoxville, Tennessee. I didn't know that it was treason to be there, so getting mace sprayed in my face was so unfair. It almost made me barf and ruined my new piano scarf, not to mention what that mace does to your hair. This little white girl, privileged and proud, should have disappeared into that MAGA crowd. 'Cause it won't be long before someone's knocking on her door. 'Cause like an idiot, she said these words out loud. They pushed me out and maced me, built a case that will disgrace me. But I'm white, so I'm expecting leniency. Some say that the legal charge might be for obvious and gross stupidity. 'Cause I told that man from MSNBC, I'm Elizabeth from Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh, they pushed me out and maced me. Now America, embrace me. When I cry, it's almost cute, as you can see. So the rule of law does not apply to me. But now the FBI wants my identity. So I'll even give them my locality. I just told that man from MSNBC, I'm I'm Elizabeth. Are you getting this? Is this camera on? I'm Elizabeth from Knoxville, Tennessee. I expected that for about 10 minutes, and almost 14,000 people have passed that stupid thing around.
Wow. That's great, David.
It's crazy.
Who knew? Who knew?
Right?
And now we're going to have something from Kat Goldman.
Hi, Christine. It's so nice to see you here.
Well, can you give us a little bit of your background, what you've done up in Canada and around the world?
I've been evolving into the human that I'm trying to be, I guess. But I've made 4 albums over the last 20 years. And I had an interesting sort of journey as a songwriter. And then I've just published a book about all my experiences being a songwriter, and along with advice for the beginner. So that's sort of what my book is about.
So will you read us a little bit of it?
I'd love to.
Yay!
Thanks for having me. I thought I'd read a chapter. If you're a songwriter out there, you might be able to relate. And this is called Finding Your Look. If you're going, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, and you look good too.
Always wear lipstick on screen. I've learned that. Important. If you're going to be a songwriter working in the music industry, you might want to spend some time thinking about your look. Have you ever wondered how some people find their look much more easily than others do? They just throw on a cap or a cowboy hat or swing a cape around their shoulders and they're good to go. Elvis had a look, so did Madonna. The Beatles had a number of compelling hairdos over their career. I myself have still not found my look, although I am open to suggestions. Don't get me wrong, I have tried a few numbers, like when I wore a white, puffy, and generously sized crinoline lace tutu for one of my opening nights. My drummer at the time really took offense to it. "You looked ridiculous," he said, "and my friends thought so too." Well, I thought that was very unkind, especially since I was paying him for the gig plus the rehearsals. I just don't know why some people try to knock you down. Maybe it's because they're mean. Maybe they're jealous. Anyway, like he was one to talk, wearing those ridiculous, ugly, thin, black nylon drummer slippers every time he went to sit at the drum set. Was he drumming or was he going windsurfing? For the past few years, I'd been threatening to wear an oversized, curly, black Cher wig to promote my new album. However, my friends were baffled. "What does it mean?" they would ask me. "What? It's a character," I would tell them. To be honest, I'm still not sure what the meaning of the Cher wig was. All I know is I wore it for one gig, and it was so hot under the lights that my makeup began to run, and I looked like something from a horror show. I will never wear that wig again, although I do keep it in my closet. When I lived in Boston, I tried Elvis, the Vegas years, but that was a hard one to pull off. With long sideburns, people tend to mistake you for a man. I also wore an eye patch for one engagement, but people couldn't decide if I was mysterious or if I was really missing an eye. I gave the David Bowie unitard a whirl for a recent concert. Again, not an easy ensemble. I looked more like a beached whale in feather earrings. Maybe one day it will come to me. Perhaps my greatest stunt was a photo shoot as a burlesque dancer. I used it for a poster to promote a show at Hughes Room in Toronto. I was a little more plump than usual, what with living in America and all. Well, the night of the show, a fellow songwriter raised a fuss. "Why would you wear such a silly getup?" he said. He was very upset about the way I was marketing myself. It's not like he wore that stupid outfit. What I'm trying to say is that you shouldn't let other people's opinions interfere with your dress choices. Songwriters need to express themselves freely. I've had managers tell me to wear my hair up, wear my hair down, wear a hat, or don't wear a hat. Do not listen to them. Did they write these songs? As singers, songwriters, and musicians, it is in our nature to want to stand out from the crowd. So pull on those tight leather pants, bust out your chest hair, and grow that handlebar mustache. Dare to be different. And most of all, remember this: just be you.
That was great, Kat.
Why, thank you, Kat. Now we have a little surprise. Speaking of baseball, one of the biggest fans of the Boston Red Sox in the world is in the house, and it happens to be his birthday today. March 6th is his 64th birthday. And I said, can you please come and do a song for us? And after your song, we will all unmute ourselves and sing happy birthday to you, which will be such a thrill for him, because you know how it sounds to sing everybody all together on Zoom. So please give a warm welcome to my friend, my compatriot, my travel buddy, Don White.
Hey.
Woo! Don!
Yeah.
Hi, Christine. Nice to be here. Thanks for capping off what has been a great birthday for me today. So nice to be with you, and thanks for coming to my birthday concert on Thursday night. It was just great. So how about I just play a song and hand it back to you? Oh, then we're gonna hear Happy Birthday all on delay with everybody singing just a little bit behind everybody else. That sounds exciting. I'm excited about that. All right. So here, this song is called Rascal. It's a song that I wrote after my son went to college and my wife realized that there wasn't going to be any buffer between us anymore. It was a very difficult moment for Mrs. White, and she's so happy that I go on Zoom and play for people all around the planet Earth occasionally. And so Brandon, when we get to the end part, if you want to let people unmute, maybe we can have a big everybody howling at the end. If people want to participate, you can howl, Brandon, and encourage them to behave, to misbehave like you. So thank you, Christine, for having me and for capping off what's been a great birthday for me. It's always great to be with you and your fans and your friends here. Rascal is the dog, he ain't too bright. Me and Rascal were sitting on the couch last night when my woman come in, started to cry. She looked at us with such terror in her eyes. She said, I have raised these children 18 years. Now they're growing up and moving out of here, and my big reward for all I've been through is this dog as dumb as mud. And you... Yippee yahoo! Well, Rascal looked at me in disbelief. He said, she can't be talking about you and me. She's got us to spend the rest of her whole life with. Would you please tell her how incredibly lucky she is? And I said, who is going to love you any better than this? We'll wake you up every morning with big wet kisses. When we hear the police sirens in your neighborhood, we throw our heads up in the air and we howl for you. Ow! That's a little teaser for the end, and that's cool. You gotta admit that's pretty cool. Well, you know, I don't believe we had succeeded in convincing her of the outrageous good fortune that had befallen her. In fact, instead of looking happy as she could be, she looked a little bit, well, you know, Christine, suicidal to me. But hey, kids go to college, kids move away, but dogs and husbands that's who stays. To you it seems like a big trick of fate, but me and Rascal don't see it that way. We're thinking, ain't we cuddly? Ain't we cute? We're both real funny. We're both real true. There is another thing about us that's very cool. If you scratch us on our belly, our left leg moves. And you gotta admit, that's cool. Oh. Well, okay, so maybe we ain't that smart. We're a couple of mutts with a lot of heart. But no one could ever love you better or give you more loyalty than this dog as dumb as mud, than this dog as dumb as mud, than this dog as dumb as mud. And me? How lucky can one girl be? She's got a dog like you and a man like me. We'll be together well into this next century. Put that knife down, baby. You know, Rascal, I don't think that Mom is too happy. Maybe we should sing for her. There appears to be a lot of potential canines in the little squares this evening in my Zoom world. Maybe if we told them about the domestic difficulties that we're having on the home front, they might chime in and howl along. You know, before COVID, if you heard a guy in his office howling at the top of his lungs to his computer, it might draw some attention. But we have been in isolation so long that people are getting quite accustomed to hearing lonely animal sounds coming out of people's houses these days. So unmute yourselves if you're interested, and let's howl at the moon here just to pretend that we're all together, not as holograms, but as real people. All right, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ow!
Happy birthday, my friend.
Oh, Neil, hi, nice to hear your voice, my friend.
Right back
Hey,
at
Don. Let's everybody sing "Happy Birthday" to Don in a way that he will remember forever. Here, let's
You
let me.
guys thought the
We can all start
howling
in the
was
same
bad.
chord. Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Don. Happy birthday to you.
Birthday boy. Christine, you know, in the 70s, somebody sold me some psychedelics, and I thought he ripped me off, but I think they just kicked in. All right, thank you. Have a great night, Christine. I'll try to pop back in later. I got some things to do, but I love you dearly, and all the best to you and all your fans and friends out there.
I love you too, Don. Bye.
Bye now.
For now. Thank you for stopping by.
Sure.
Happy birthday. Oh. And I see that Betsy Franco-Feeney is still here, and Betsy has a brand new book that is also geared to kids, based in real science. It's called, well, Betsy, take the stage.
It is called Jewels of the Sea, The Hunt for Floating Treasure. And it was inspired by a scientist who studies things that were in, or those who were here for the concert who know that I did Amoeba Hop with Christine, the book Amoeba Hop. When I was researching Amoeba Hop, some of the other one-celled creatures, one of the group were called diatoms. Raise your hand. How many know what a diatom is? Oh, I can't see everybody, but so have you seen Will Smith do One Strange Rock? It was like that. Anybody know that series? He talks about diatoms, and they are the most important most important organism in the world. This is what scientists has told me, because of diatoms, we have enough oxygen to breathe. It's the bottom of the food chain. It helps with global warming. Scientists use it to study climate change. It's just amazing. So to really get the little kids interested in science, I wrote an imaginary story. I channeled Christine Lavin because I used my imagination, and she's amazing, Christine Lavin. And so it's a story about grandfather Saba, who has a treasure hunt for the kids, and he invented a special invention, which are micro goggles, and they get to see the diatoms. So they're taken on this adventure, even to the bottom of the ocean too. And after the adventure is over, there's real science involved. And all of these diatoms, I did not illustrate those. Those are all awesome photographs from a contributor to National Geographic magazine. She is I knew I was going to mess that up. Microscopist, people who take photos under the microscope. And these are her photos. And I've also been in touch with a microscopist from the Netherlands, who has done a TED talk about diatoms and other one-cell creatures. So I'm in the process of, just like Christine and I were trying to get kids interested in science, I'm in the process once again, because science is so important and it's real, and people are believing us again that science is real, and hopefully we'll spread the word to little ones so that they can grow up to be maybe scientists or doctors and help us out of the mess that we are leaving them. So that's why I did this book.
Thank you, Betsy. And in the chat room, Brandon has put your website, betsyfrancofeeney.com. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, it's Betsy. You show them, lift up the book a little bit more so they can see your name. BetsyFranco-Feeney.com.
Yeah.
And you can buy the books directly from her. And she's also a calligrapher. So when she autographs the books, it's also like a work of art. So thank you, Betsy. And again, what's the age group for this book?
This one's about same thing, like 6 through 9 is same thing as Amoeba Hop, or I'd like to say K through 3, kindergarten through 3rd grade. But I'm doing Zoom programs with different schools and libraries. So I'm doing 1st grade and 2nd grade. Like I visit their schools. So if anybody has access to a teacher or even a school district, they're going to. This is for Cliffside Park, New Jersey, but I'm doing a book tour from my kitchen counter.
And Betsy, what are some things that have diatoms in them that people don't even realize they're using every day?
So you're talking about diatomaceous earth, which is the diatoms when they die. The frustrules, which are the beautiful glass boxes, they float to the bottom. They go to the bottom of the ocean, and they're like the skeletons of the crystal boxes of the diatoms. And it's in cat litter, it's in toothpaste. They use diatomaceous earth to make the pyramids. It's amazing that diatoms are so valuable when they're alive, and they're also valuable when they're dead. They're just amazing. And one of the quotes, here's a quote from a scientist that said, diatoms are the most important organism people have never heard of. Jewels of the Sea is a wonderful introduction to diatoms and a celebration of their beauty, diversity, and versatility.
Oh, my earliest songs. when I was in college, when I was writing songs. One that I do remember was inspired by one of the girls in the dorm the year I lived in Gordon Hall. She wasn't particularly pretty, but she was tall and thin, had reddish brown hair, wore eyeglasses, and was a total slut. I don't know how else to describe her. Not only did she sleep around, she had a habit of stealing the underpants of the guys that she slept with. She bragged about her collection, and when I knew her, she had 34 pairs. 34 pairs! Very often, she would wear a pair under her skirt and loved to flash people to show off her latest acquisition. A famous musician came through our school to do a concert, and sure enough, the next day, she was wearing his underwear and flashing everybody in sight, whether they wanted to see it or not. So I wrote a song called I Wonder Whose Underwear She's Wearing Now. I can't remember if this is one that Eric Lowen and I did together. Eric Lowen and I were singing partners before, way back in college in Brockport, before he played with Dan Navarro. So I took a lot of English courses at Brockport, and while still a sophomore, I somehow got into a graduate poetry class that I had no business being in. I wrote one incomprehensible paper about a poem whose meaning completely eluded me. I was so desperate to make sense of it that I made up terms like cyclopean vindictive and diminishing parallels to describe that poem. When the paper was returned to me with a giant red F at the top and a handwritten note that said, "This is the most solipsistic bit of writing I have ever read," I spent the entire class praying that solipsistic was a compliment. Of course, that F should have been a clue. Years later, I use that word in my story song, The Shopping Cart of Love. After I say it, I pause and I tell the audience, yeah, I didn't know what that word meant either. Now you know why. A few weeks after I wrote my underwear song, the Beat poets Allen Ginsberg and Lawrence Ferlinghetti stopped in Brockport on their poetry reading tour. One of the English professors, Al Poulin Jr., had edited an excellent anthology of modern American poetry, and many of the poets included in this book made a point of visiting the campus when they were on reading tours. Allen Ginsberg played an odd instrument on stage. It was shaped like a book, and he pumped it back and forth to make a very simple accordion sound. One of the poems he read was called Don't Smoke, and it consisted of him saying over and over and over again, "Don't smoke, don't smoke, don't smoke," as he pumped the accordion book in his lap. Lawrence Ferlinghetti read a humorous poem he had just written called Underwear, and I naturally felt a funny connection with him. At a party for the two poets after the reading, I saw Ferlinghetti standing all alone. I screwed up my courage, boldly walked over to him and asked him about his underwear poem. Then I told him that I was a songwriter, and what a coincidence! I had just written an underwear song. He wanted to know all about my song, so I told him it was about the slutty men's underwear collecting girl in my dorm. He must have gotten the wrong impression because he asked me if I would like to spend the night with him in his hotel room. Well, I got all flustered and told him I couldn't possibly do that and just slipped away. I circulated for a while and talked to some other people, and about a half hour later, I saw that Ferlinghetti had put his coat on and was leaving. A bunch of students gathered by the door, and I joined them. He said goodbye to all of us, and then he looked over at me and motioned for me to come closer. I walked over to him, and he leaned down and whispered, "I wonder whose underwear she's wearing now." And with that, he was out the door, the rascal. Ferlinghetti.
1, 2, 3. Two, three, four. Everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows I've got the
tell